Good morning, Philippines. Good morning, viewers and listeners here on this newest program on RJTV, Radyo Bandido, Everything Under the Sun with your host, Jera, Sison. Okay Ito, tuloy-tuloy tayo ngayong araw na to. At mukhang dumadami na rin ang mga nakikinig at ang mga nanonood dito sa programang to. Punong-puno tayo ngayong araw na to. Especially, patapos na ang buwan ng Abril at papasok na ang first week of May at alam naman natin kung ano na ang susunod dyan. Tayo ay hatol ng susunod na mamumuno sa ating bansa. Kaya yan, pag-uusapan natin ng konti yan mamaya at ganun din, we'll be talking about another issue that we've been discussing here in this program. Remember that our guest before was the MMDA Chairman Don Artes, and we were discussing about the new number coding scheme. We'll discuss that later because we've been receiving a lot of flaks, a lot of criticisms, and at the same time, we're also getting valuable or logical reasons why there is a need to have a new number coding scheme. And later, we have a guest who's been, so to speak, in hibernation for quite some time. And buti na lang, pinaunlakan tayo para naman lumabas siya, pakipag-discuss sa atin, and you'll be surprised who this guy is. Okay? So, Everything Under the Sun will be back. Stay tuned.
Napapagod ka na ba sa hamon ng buhay? Tuloy lang kaibigan, huwag kang ihinto. Bayan sulong na, bayan sulong na, bayan sulong na, bayan sulong na, bayan sulong na.
Pilipinas, sulong na.
Okay, welcome back to Everything Under the Sun. This is your host, Jera Sison. And you can watch this over at Channel 29 on digital free-to-air TV, Channel 224 on Sky Cable, and all TV Plus boxes like GMA Afford the Box, EC and RCA boxes. And also, you can hear this at Radyo Bandido RJ 810 AM. Okay? So, let's go to our first issue. After this pandemic, at nagkaroon na tayo ng alert level 1, well, we all notice that traffic is getting heavier and heavier every day. Now, MMDA announced that the number coding will still be in effect, pero sa hapon lang, 5 to 8. Kaya kung mapapansin ninyo, kung mapapansin natin lahat, lalabas ka pa lang sa bahay ng around 7 o'clock in the morning, abay masikip na ang traffic all the way. So, MMDA made a study about this on the possibility of adding or strengthening the number coding scheme by not allowing vehicles to ply in Metro Manila for 2 days. Dati kasi, di ba, alam naman natin yan. Isang beses lang, isang araw na hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yung kotse. Pero ngayon, gagawin nila, plano nila gawin na 2 beses na sa isang araw. pinag-aaralan pa lang to. No? And they plan, if ever, they plan to implement this next month. Now, after saying that, after announcing that, there were a lot of criticisms. Parang sinabi, ano na naman itong naisip ninyo? Diba, napag-aralan nyo ba to? Nakakalito, mas pinagugulo ninyo. Well, partly yes. But what is important is for us to get used to another system. Huwag tayo mag-resist. Because the overall wisdom of this new number coding scheme is to reduce traffic by 40 or 50%. Sana. Because if you will notice, supposedly, the current number coding scheme aims at reducing traffic by 20%. Do we feel that 20% along the roads? Hindi, di ba? Hindi natin nararamdaman. Para bang sinabi mo, meron bang number coding scheme? Because there are so many cars. There are so many cars flying all over Metro Manila. Bawas pa ang mga public utility buses. Now, for me, this number coding scheme can be considered as a stopgap measure. Dahil ang punot-dulo talaga nito is we have poor public transportation system. That's number one. Over the decades, several administrations have served us, pero dito pa lang natin nakikita ang mga build programs aimed at decongesting traffic. Meron tayong ginagawang subways, may ginagawa tayong additional bridges to link several cities, no? Meron rin tayong the railway system, but that will take some time. And since we're in a democratic country, diba, we are free if we have the power to purchase cars. Hindi tayo pinagbabawalan, maswerte nga tayo eh. Sa ibang bansa, may mga policies na bawal magkaroon ng more than 2 cars. Oh. Kaya, kumbaga, it must be a give and take situation between government and the private sector. We have to swallow the bitter pill in order for us na makaramdam ng ginhawa sa traffic. I believe that MMDA is really studying this issue very well so that it would help us traverse the roads in Metro Manila. Okay. Mapunta naman tayo dito sa eleksyon. Malapit na. On May 9, we will all troop to the polling centers to vote for our next leaders. Mas lalo na ito, nagkakainitan na. A week ago, nagpakita itong mga ibang presidential candidates saying that they will not back out. And the other one was saying that bakit itong kampong to ay pinapa-withdraw kami. Dapat siya ang mag-withdraw. Well, regardless, but I don't think that was a good move for them. Because wala naman bagong news doon eh. Parang sinabi lang nila, hindi kami mag-withdraw. They can do that in all their campaign sorties, gather media and tell the public that we are not withdrawing. But why was there a need to have this big press conference to say or to announce this that is quite expected? Sayang. Ang kailangan pag-aaralan natin dito, ay yung dalawang naglalaban talaga. Although, if we will base it on the surveys, for the past several months, ang laki ng lamang ni BBM compared to Lenny. But it is gaining ground. Others are saying, hindi naman sigurado yung survey na yan. Well, probably yes, probably not. But at the end of the day, let us see, let us make our vote count. Yung mga talagang registered voters, go out, vote para malaman nila kung ano ang gusto nyo, kung ano ang boses natin. Good luck, but I hope whoever wins in these coming elections, wag na natin guluhin. Kung ang sinasabi ng bawat sumusuporta ay para sa bayan, kung sino ang manalo, suportahan natin para sa bayan. Okay? So, having said that, everything under the sun will be back.
Joe Saldariaga po.
At Maita Basa David.
Ngayong Abril, 10 pesos and 18 centavos ang overall electricity rate. Bunga ng 54 centavos na increase. Dala ito ng dagdag singil sa WESM, pagtaas ng fuel prices at peso depreciation. Tumaas man ang mga bilihin kahit papano. Mas mura ang kuryente ngayon kaysa mga Abril bago mag-pandemic. Para makagaan sa ating consumers, patuloy ang koordinasyon ng Meralco sa ERC at generation companies.
Kaya mabuting maging energy efficient. Malaki ang matitipid kung uugaliing mag-unplug. Up to 194 pesos per month ang savings. Safer pa!
At para safe ang power sa halalan, tinuturuan natin ng electrical safety ang mga nasa polling and canvassing centers. Handa rin ang ating linemen at engineers in case may electrical emergencies.
Para you have the power ngayong eleksyon at buong summer.
Hi, welcome back to Everything Under the Sun. Now, I would like to discuss another issue that I guess it became a fad during the pandemic. And what is this? Yung online selling. Diba? Dahil nagkaroon ng pandemya, pumutok yung online selling na yan. All of us use our mobile phones to conveniently shop and have all these items delivered right on our doorsteps. Maganda yun. Diba? Dahil hindi natin kailan lumabas eh. However, when that online selling started, or it has started long, long before because of e-commerce, but it boomed during the pandemic. Ang problema lang na nangyari doon, dumami ang mga complaints ng mga consumers of this delivery of online products. Sometimes darating sa kanila, may basag na, poor handling, kulang sa parts, etc. Now, because of the pandemic, a lot of consumers don't know how to address this problem. Because even government, even offices that's concerned with this issue, skeletal force din eh. Now, when the level of the concern, the alert level of the pandemic is bumaba na rin yung complaints on online selling. Ngayon, ang halos na lang online food delivery na lang. But the others, the others really go out and buy things. And speaking of that, natatandaan nyo ba dati na, I don't know, mas lalo na sa mga kabataan, no? Because before, makikita mo palagi sa kahera na nakalagay, no return, no exchange. Yun ang nakikita natin dati. But, because of Republic Act 7394, which is called the Consumer Act of the Philippines, there was one government official who really took time and studied this Republic Act and make a very monumental move to take out this no return, no exchange for the benefit of the consuming public. Dahil tayo kasi dati, we will take it hook, line, and sinker. Kapag sinabi, naku, nasira, malas naman. Hindi ko na maibabalik to. But now, consumers are empowered to return the item if may damage or mali yung product na binili nila. At walang expiration yan. Ha? Yan ang maganda. And later on, this guy who made this happen is our guest. So don't go away. Everything under the sun will be back in a while.
Napapagod ka na ba sa hamon ng buhay? Tuloy lang kaibigan, huwag kang ihinto. Bayan sulong na, bayan sulong na, bayan sulong na, bayan sulong na, bayan sulong na.
Pilipinas, sulong na.
Okay, welcome back to Everything Under the Sun. This is your host, Jera Sison. Well, a while ago, before we went to a commercial break, I was talking about our special guest for today. Okay? Ito, I consider this guy as my mentor, my big brother, and my professor all rolled into one. Marami akong natutunan sa kanya. Madami rin ako natanggap na sermon sa kanya. At marami rin akong natanggap na memorable things nung kami magkasama nung ako'y nagtatrabaho sa kanya. This guy is an achiever at a very young age. Pumasok sa private sector. Maganda ang kanyang mga nagawa when he was with the private sector. And at the same time, after that, pumasok sa public service, laging legislator, served as a cabinet secretary, not once, not twice, but tatlong administration, tatlong mga presidente. Medyo kilala ko tong taong to, kaya nasasabi ko lahat to at magandang introduction ko sa kanya. Okay, for our special guest for today, let us welcome former Congressman of the 3rd District of Tarlac, former DTI Secretary and former DepEd Secretary, and a very successful corporate executive. Please welcome. Ito ang tawag ko sa kanya, Kong. Kong kasi yung kapampangan is kuya. So let us welcome Kong Jesly Lapus. Welcome, Kong Jesly. Kamusta na? Long time no see.
Thank you very much. Magandang umaga po sa iyong mga televiewers. At salamat sa paanyaya mo. At ako'y natutuwa. I consider you third generation. Kasi nakasama ko sa kabinete yung mga great Sison, press secretary dati ni President Ramos, LBR. Tapos nakasama ko ng matagal ang iyong ate, si Milen, sa Land Bank, siya ang aking External Affairs Vice President. Tapos nagsama kami sa ibang larangan bilang PR. Ngayon, in full bloom, and the only survivor among the three, I hope hindi ikaw ang dahilan ng ayaw na nila dito sa mundo.
Well, anyway, this segment is all about you. Okay? Dahil, di ba, sabi ko nga kanina, matagal nang wala tayong naririnig dito kay Jess Lapus, who used to be in the limelight, no, for so many years. Tapos biglang siguro a decade or 12 years wala tayong naririnig. Kaya nga ako napakasaya at pinaunlakan ako dito para lumabas ulit sa public ang Jess Lapus. So before that, kamusta na ba? What have you been doing the past several years?
Yeah. Well, this is my first interview in 12 years, Jera. Dahil napakalakas talaga ng charm mo. At, I'm happy to guest in your program. Alam mo ako, when I close a chapter, puro ako whatever chapter, body and soul ako . So when I was in government, I really was so intense in making a difference. Human din tayo, na-burn out tayo . So ngayong back to barracks ako sa private sector, focus ako sa private sector. Parang sinabi ko sa sarili ko, huwag ka na magbasa ng dyaryo kasi I can read between the lines. I've been in the corridors of power so long. But in all this, I guess I was a man with a mission. I felt my mission was already humanly done already. And it's time to, being 70 plus, it's time naman to spend time with family, with hobby, etc. I think I told myself, I deserve naman a last chapter na in peace. No? Ganon. So, anong ginawa ko itong last 12 years? 2010 nung mag-retire ako. Jera, no? 2010. Full private citizen. But having said that, pwede ka naman maging relevant kahit na private citizen. Hindi naman ibig sabihin yung mga nasa public service, yun lang naman ang gumagawa ng kabutihan para sa iba. No? So as a private citizen, involved pa rin ako sa education, mainly sa NGO. Like if you heard of the Sisters of Mary Schools, that is a full board and lodging high school for 12,000 poorest of the poor in the Philippines. That's in Silang for Luzon. That's in Talisay for Visayas and Mindanao. So full board and lodging, Jera yan. Tatanggapin yung bata sa first year high school. Pagkatapos hanggang mag-graduate ng high school, libre. Kasi most of these kids are homeless. Most of these are coming from broken families, kaawa-awa, or talagang malungkot. And I chair institutional corporations. STI, which is the biggest, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, 80 campuses nationwide. Tayong chairman of the board yan. Nag-chairman din ako ng Manila Titan Colleges. So, while nasa private sector, we share what our remaining expertise. Baka hindi na ganun tayo katinik, ka-sharp, or memory. Pero may masishare pa naman tayo.
Hindi ako naniniwala dyan. Pero alam mo, Kong, no? That's another aspect as an educator. Pero alam ko talaga na ang magaling ka sa management eh. Ever since nung mga nasa 30s ka pa, yan ang parang yan ang parang breakout mo kaya umakyat ka sa corporate ladder. Well, kindly tell the listeners and the viewers when you were managing yung Triumph. When you were how old were you then? 30, 35?
I started at 29. I was an expat in the Philippines. OFW ako pero sa Pilipinas
Pero
ako
nandito.
naka-assign, di ba? But hired in Germany. Ang Triumph, unknown to many, is the largest German company of its kind. It's 120 years old. I was the only Filipino in 40 countries. And sinuwerte naman tayo. At yun ang naging ang operation ko, yun ang naging pinakamalaki sa buong mundo. No? So at 30, 31, bali at the top of the world na tayo in terms of
Yan yung mga tinatawag dating yan ang mga tinatawag dating mga talagang yappies, di ba? Young professionals na executive.
Pero yun nga, mga Germans yung mga managers ko. Sabi nila, in terms of discipline and precision, sabi niya, Herr Lapus, you're more German than us. Paano? Palaki tayo ng mga German nuns sa Holy Spirit.
Ganun ba?
Holy Ghost, no? Tagal ako sa mga German nuns. I survived the German nuns. And coincidentally, yung mga German nuns, mga Bavarians yan eh. Mga, kung saan galing si Hitler, no? Sa Munich, that area. Catholics.
Pero going back doon sa Triumph, ano ba yung mga milestones dati when you were managing that?
Milestone, well, kasalukuyan nun yung 83, you know, nung the height of political turmoil. Basta lahat ng kumpanyang labor intensive. And I was one of the biggest in the Philippines, number one taxpayer sa government industry, number one sa employment. Ni-strike lahat yan for no reason, di ba? Dahil labor intensive. So yun ang milestone, crisis management. I guess ako, like the other baby boomers, crisis really molded us. Di ba? Out of school in the 70s, may crisis noon, interest rate, 25 to 30%. Paano ka naman kikita kung 25-30% ang cost of money, di ba? Uutang ka, gano'n ang cost mo. Anong klaseng negosyo kaya magbayad ng gano'n? Samantala kung manufacturing ka, gross profit mo 30% lang ganyan. Tapos hindi ka pa makautang. So lahat ng crisis. Kaya sabi ko ngayon nga sa mga later managers, maswerte ka ako kayo kami. Every month, we have to worry about payroll. Di ba? Pero yung mga nag-survive dyan, I guess talagang asang-asa sa most types of crisis. No?
Yeah. Now, from being the top executive of Triumph here in Asia, tama, no?
In the world.
Right? In the world. Tapos, nag-shift ka eh. Diba? Nag-shift ka and went to government.
Land bank. Nagkaroon, hindi alam ng marami ito. Nagkaroon ako at the peak of my career, nagkaroon ako ng medical episode. Na-diagnose ako sa stage ng brain tumor. And I just found out later on that the doctor did not expect me to live 6 months. Imagine you're 34 years old, 35, pagkatapos alam mo, everything will end, di ba? Lahat na ng laurels, ng laurels mo, outstanding, highest award ka na sa eskwela mo, sa Asian Institute of Management. I hold the record up to now, 29 years old, AAA awardee. Tapos, tinawag tayo ng Asian Finance Magazine ng Hong Kong na Management Whiz-Kid in the ASEAN. No? Tapos, ayun, mamamatay ka. in 6 months. Sabi ko sa inyo ako na 6 months na lang kayo mabubuhay. You will ask yourself, yung bang ginagawa ko ngayon? Yung bang nagbo-broadcast ako ngayon? Yung bang trabaho ko ngayon? Happy ba ako dito? Karamihan sa mga tao, they don't think na may end eh. They postpone many things. They postpone relationships with family, they postpone quality time, they postpone hobbies, di ba? Ganun din ang na-realize ko. Yun ang, kasi, rat race eh.
No.
Expected ka na rat race. Ikaw ang pinaka-champion. Ikaw nangunguna. Ikaw nagpo-compete. Parate. Tapos ngayon, it will all end. Ang dami pang unfinished business, which is not business, which is personal, which is spiritual. So, ganun ang naging attitude ko mula noon, Jera.
So that changed your perspective in life after that.
It's literally life-changing. Kasi I figured, sabi ko, tama na itong bilyon-bilyong dolyares o ano na natulungan mong yumaman, stockholders, mga sabi ko, saan kailangan yung kung meron kang konting gift, kakayahan, talino, sa management, saan pinakamalaki ang challenge sa management? Ang conclusion ko, sa gobyerno, sa public service.
Okay. Speaking of that, ipagpapatuloy natin, pag-shift mo from private to public. When we come back, we'll have more of this with former Secretary Jesli Lapus. Don't go away. Everything under the sun will be right back.
Jong Saldariaga po.
At Maita Basa David.
Ngayong Abril, 10 pesos and 18 centavos ang overall electricity rate. Bunga ng 54 centavos na increase. Dala ito ng dagdag singil sa WESM, pagtaas ng fuel prices at peso depreciation. Tumaas man ang mga bilihin kahit papano. Mas mura ang kuryente ngayon kaysa mga Abril bago mag-pandemic. Para makagaan sa ating consumers, patuloy ang koordinasyon ng Meralco sa ERC at generation companies.
Kaya mabuting maging energy efficient. Malaki ang matitipid kung uugaliing mag-unplug. Up to 194 pesos per month ang savings. Safer pa!
At para safe ang power sa halalan, tinuturuan natin ng electrical safety ang mga nasa polling and canvassing centers. Handa rin ang ating linemen at engineers in case may electrical emergencies.
Para you have the power ngayong eleksyon at buong summer. Jong Saldariaga po.
At Maita Basa David.
Ngayong Abril, 10 pesos and 18 centavos ang overall electricity rate. Bunga ng 54 centavos na increase. Dala ito ng dagdag singil sa WESM, pagtaas ng fuel prices at peso depreciation. Tumaas man ang mga bilihin kahit papano. Mas mura ang kuryente ngayon kaysa mga Abril bago mag-pandemic. Para makagaan sa ating consumers, patuloy ang koordinasyon ng Meralco sa ERC at generation companies.
Kaya mabuting maging energy efficient. Malaki ang matitipid kung uugaliing mag-unplug. Up to 194 pesos per month ang savings. Safer pa!
At para safe ang power sa halalan, tinuturuan natin ng electrical safety ang mga nasa polling and canvassing centers. Handa rin ang ating linemen at engineers in case may electrical emergencies.
Para you have the power ngayong eleksyon at buong summer.
Okay, welcome back to Everything Under the Sun. This is your host, Jera Sison, and our special guest for today is former Congressman Secretary Jesli Lapus. Kong, you were telling us a while ago your paradigm shift. I don't know if that's the right word, no? After what happened to you. At pumunta ka, yung management skills mo, gusto mong i-impart sa government. So, paano nangyari yun, Kong?
Well, nag-coincide yung episode ko na yun sa snap election. So, ang naging conclusion ko, alam mo, pag nasa bingid ka ng kamatayan, nasa hospital bed ka, ang bilis mag-flashback yung buhay mo, Jera. In matter of minutes, alam mo kung saan ka na, anong nakaligtaan mo. Ang conclusion ko, nakaligtaan kong maging relevant sa aking bansa. Nakaligtaan kong i-share yung whatever gift I had for relevance, no? For yung to make a difference. Kaya nung magkaroon ng bagong gobyerno, in-invite tayong sumali. Una sa pamahalaan ni President Cory Aquino, nag-undersecretary ako dyan kasi pinirmahan nila yung CARP. Walang pondo. Sabi nila, kayong mga professionals, tumulong naman kayo mag-road show kayo, mag-raise ng fund. Di ba? So nagawa natin yun, 2 taon. Pero sabi ko, ako kasi naniniwala sa Singapore model, Jera. Fanatic ako sa Singapore model na lahat ng mamamayan kailangan magsilbi ng 2 years. Kahit na ano pang achievement mo, PhD ka, etc. Pwede kang gawing bumbero, pwede kang gawing mailman, 2 years. That makes for good citizenship kasi lahat ng mamamayan dumaan sa public service, hindi, naging basurero ka hindi ka na magkakalat, di ba? Magiging law-abiding ka. So ako, nung invite nila ako, sabi ko, alam nyo, galing ako sa German company. One of the highest paid executives ako in the Philippines, top taxpayer. Sabi ko, but I owe my country. I will serve only for 2 years. Yun lang ang kaya ko. Ako, kasi yung efficiency standards ko, etc. Tapos notorious pa naman nun. At saka, siguro ngayon, ang baba ng tingin natin sa efficiency at saka effectiveness. No? Sa Singapore, ang public service o government work, ang taas ng sweldo. Like, to compete sa private sector, they get the brightest, they don't compromise on competence. Kinukuha talaga ng gobyerno ang kung anong kakayahan. Halos walang kaibahan sa standard. So, ayun. And then kay President Ramos, yung land bank mabakante, sabi nila, itong land bank subsidized dati. Ngayon, wala nang pera sa ill-gotten wealth. Nabenta na yung mga saleable. This has to behave like a bank now. But if we get somebody who is totally profit-oriented, walang alam sa agrarian. Walang alam sa CARP. Diba? So ako hindi na interesadong bumalik Naka 2 years na ako Balik na ako. Naging presidente ako ng isang paint company. Diba? And one day, tinawag ako ni President Ramos. Sabi niya, alam mo, konti lang yung kamukha mo na galing sa private sector, nag-outstanding sa manufacturing, etc. Pagkatapos, kabisado yung agrarian reform law, gumawa ng implementing rules.
Yun yung tuhog doon.
Sabi niya, yan yung land bank. Kumuha tayo ng pure NGO dyan, na CARP lang. Mababankrupt yan within 1 year. Ngayon, kung kumuha naman tayo ng dyed-in-wool na pure profits, commercial banker, wala namang alam sa social responsibility. So, inalok sa akin yun. Hindi ko na matanggihan yun. And that is one of my most fulfilling jobs. Looking back, yung 6 na taong ko dyan, we made land bank, the state bank, with this large PNB which had a monopoly for 30, 50 years. Ang land bank naging number 3 from number 19. Pero we had to transform. Ang root word dyan kasi transformation. Di ba? Kasi yung mga organization, pati gobyerno, can only be as good as the people in it. Hindi pwedeng sasabihin natin, hindi maganda ang gobyerno. Bakit? Sa human resources. Kaya nung alokan uli ako ng bandang huli, moving forward, skip muna natin yung politika. Moving forward, nung alokin ako uli sa kabinete, ang term ni President Arroyo, kasi tayong gumawa ng fiscal reforms ng 2005, mababankrupt ng Pilipinas. Sabi ko, kung babalik ako sa kabinete, I'll be where it makes the difference, the most important. And para sa akin, number 1, human resource. Kasi nakita ko, ang human resource ang pinagmamalaki ng Pilipinas pero bumababa yung quality. Naririnig ko yan sa abroad, mga sa industry na yung competence lumalayo na sa previous years. So, yung human resource ang ating pinakamalaking asset sa Pilipinas. Pag hindi natin na-maintain yung standard dyan, isang major weakness na lalabas sa atin. Pangalawa, food security. Bottom line, sabi ko, either DepEd or DA. Sabi niya, hindi, pero ang korte mo, finance, dapat sa DOF ka. Sabi ko, hindi. Sabi niya, NEDA, budget. Kung ano nang inaalok sa akin. Sabi ko, alam mo, kung ayoko magsakripisyo, balik na lang ako sa private sector. Dito ako sa food security or human resource development. Otherwise, sabi ko, wag na lang.
So, bakit ka nakuha sa DepEd?
Hindi, kaya nga. Kaya inalok na yung DepEd, yung human resources. Ayun. So, tapos yung politika naman, Jera, dahil nasa land bank na ako, ang natuwa naman kami dahil ang World Bank ang sinabi, land bank is the heart of the matter. That's the highest praise I can think of.
I agree dyan, if I may just interject, hindi naman sa kuwan, iba ang land bank, yung image nung panahon mo, sorry compared sa land bank ngayon. Di ba? Mabigat ang land bank nung, when you were on top of that, when you were president of land bank, sa totoo lang.
Uso
After your stint, di ba? What made you decide to shift naman to politics after that?
Kasi nga sa land bank, punta tayo sa mga probinsya, na-realize ko, kahit mababang tingin sa politiko, negative, ganyan, skeptical, they hold the power. Nakakagalaw lang mabuti yung mga delivery of services kung yung politician are on the same page. Yung cooperative, hindi sagabal. Pagkasama mo yung politician, tuloy-tuloy ang development, ang nation building. On the other hand, pagka undesirable yung mga political leadership dyan, halos wala kang magawa. So sabi ko, bakit hindi natin baguhin ang politika? Yung mga ayaw pumasok sa politika, mga professionals, their hearts are in the right places. Bakit hindi sumali? Nagkataon naman, first time magkaroon ng term limit. Kasi kung hindi nagkaroon ng term limit there, hindi mo na mapapalitan dyan. Baka hanggang 90 anyos. Di ba?
Tama.
Yung mga kingpins, mga...
yung nga, binasag mo yan sa Tarlac di ba? Sa distrito mo.
80 kami mga bago sa first termer noong 1998. Kaya nga, ang dominant force noon, mga neophytes.
Hindi, totoo yan. Ang dami noon.
Nakita mo yan. Kaya first termers kami, mga chairman of committees na kami.
Dahil
pero hindi rin kami pwedeng hawakan dahil nagpalit kami ng speakers 3 beses. Couldn't agad. Kaya kami natatawa ngayon sa mga congresses na sunod-sunurin, ganyan, papasa ng budget na wala namang sa harap nila, mga ganyan.
Pero maganda when we were talking over the phone, di ba? Yung isang milestone na nagawa mo when you were still in Congress, di ba? When you were head of the Committee on Suffrage. Can you explain that to our listeners? Maganda yan.
We're very proud. In 1987, sa Constitution ng 1987, ang sinabi, there should be a law that should allow overseas Filipinos to vote. Pero they tried up to the time ng ma-appoint tayo na Committee on Suffrage kasi wala namang may gusto ng suffrage, tal, ganyan, walang trabaho. Hindi ako abogado pero sa suffrage ako binato. O, para mag-chairman tayo, tinanggap ko na, di ba? First termer eh. Diba? Tinanggap ko na. But nandun ako, yun nga, always wanting to see what can make a difference. Yun, nakita ko yung overseas absentee vote. Kaya to make a long story short, by the skin of my teeth, at saka ni Senator Pimentel sa Senate, ang counterpart, kami dalawa, we passed the overseas absentee voting law. Kaya ngayon nakakaboto 1.7 million natin.
Oo, di ba?
Overseas Filipinos.
Kaya milestone yan, ha? Dahil ngayon, kita mo naman, very active ang participation ng mga OFWs natin when it comes to voting na ngayon. Unlike before.
Oo, hindi kasi tingnan mo, how much do they remit? Kaya kahit mag-economic fluctuation tayo, ang sinasabi, ang Philippines is steady because of the OFW remittance. Di ba? Napakalaki yung pinapasok na pera. So, parang sabi ko, itong mga Filipinos abroad, parang stockholders yan eh. Bakit hindi niya pinapaboto yung stockholders sa stockholders meeting? Hindi sila makasabi kung sino magiging board of directors. Hindi niya pinapaboto. Ang laki ng pusta nila dito. Di ba?
Ito, isa pa, Tokong, di ba? Yung etong ngayon na natatamasa ng mga LGUs, yung pinasayang value-added tax. Can you explain it? Kung ano ngayon ang benefits ng ating gobyerno because of that?
Yeah. Noong 2004, nasa bingit na ng bankruptcy ang Pilipinas. Ang mga international rating agency, tinitreaten ng i-downgrade ang credit rating ng Pilipinas. At that time, yung budget natin napakaliit kasi ang konti-konti ng tax collection. Ang rule sa tax collection, 20% ang taxes collected to GDP. Tayo noon, 11% lang yata. Parang bahay ito eh, na ang breadwinner, hindi sapat ang kita. Sa laki ng pamilya, hindi nakakapag-aral, butas-butas yung bahay, daming utang sa tindahan, kasi kulang ang revenue.
O sige. So after that, di ba, pumunta ka naman as cabinet secretary. Doon nga, yung sinabi mo, doon sa DepEd, di ba? Pero, what are the other milestones then? Doon yung nandun ka sa DepEd before you went to another post sa cabinet.
Well, ang ating slogan, kung maalala mo, Jera, edukasyon ang solusyon. You name me a problem, whether it's Jera sa Mindanao, whether it's criminality, whether it is kamangmangan, etc., o lack of manners, malnutrition, etc. Edukasyon ang solusyon. I can trace the problem for lack of education or bad education. So, pinalaganap natin yon. Pangalawa, sinama natin ang community sa responsibility sa education. Sabi natin, it takes a community to educate a child. Not just a teacher, not just a school, the entire community. Kaya sinulong natin yung Brigada Eskwela. 100% ng mga schools nationwide, bago opening ng school, ang community is invited to clean. Tapos nakikita nila kung anong kulang sa eskwela. They donate billions of pesos worth of donations ang pumapasok. Hindi lang nalilista yan. Hindi lang yun. Nagiging picnic ng mga pamilya. Tala-tala yung mga anak. May walis sila, may ano sila. Di ba? Masaya. Now, the community is now involved but na-realize nila ang role ng kanilang public school sa kanilang barangay, etc. I think that is very important. No? Pangalawa, yung yung Brigada Eskwela, hindi na nawe-waste ang time ng bata. Pagpasok ng school, walang gagawin sa linggo, naglilinis ng kwarto. Pagpasok nila, ayos na. Pangatlo, marami tayong initiative eh. Yung technical, vocational. Ang sabi ko, ang direksyon ng mamamayan, hindi lang college. Colonial mentality tayo na minimeasure natin yung success ng bata kung college graduate o hindi. What about yung entrepreneurship? Yung naging successful sa entrepreneurship. What about yung naging successful sa technical, vocational? Di ba? Mag-construct tayo, yung mga hotel dyan ng malalaki no? Nag-import pa tayo ng mason eh. Sa mason, electrician, ganyan. Ang daming college graduate, walang trabaho, walang skills. At saka diploma lang ang
Habol.
hinabol lang. Kaya ako, binago ko yung paradigm yun. So, pinush natin yung career pathways textbook. Ganyan. Tapos yung IP natin. Yung IP na pabayaan, hindi na-educate. So, gumawa tayo ng IP education framework that is considered classic by the IP board. Yung pagturo using their mother tongue. So, para magawa mo naman yun, kailangan isulat mo yung dictionary, isulat mo yung module. Big project. Pero pag hindi natin na-emancipate ang ating mga indigenous people, di ba? Parang mga American Indians, mas madali siguro imagine yun.
Yeah.
American Indians, disenfranchised tayo din. Kinukuha yung ancestral land, tapos hindi sila educated. Sasabihin natin, ayaw mag-aral eh. Paano hindi tayo nakafocus? Tsaka hindi angkop yung tinuturo.
Okay. Ang dami nun. Palagay ko, marami pa yan. But, pagkatapos nun, di ba, lumipat ka as DTI Secretary. And I was telling a while ago in this program na yung pagbasag mo nung palaging nakalagay sa kahera na no return, no exchange. Di ba? O pakisabi nga sa kanila kung paano mo binasag yan.
Hindi, kasi iniisip ko, sandali lang kasi ako dyan eh. Ang problema natin, competitiveness. Everybody saying competitiveness ang bulong natin, etc. Teka muna ako. Bakit hindi competitive ang mga produkto natin? Kasi galing ako sa Trio. Export-oriented kami. 96% exported in 14 countries. 100% quality check kami. Bakit pag sinabi mo Japan, made in Germany, top quality. Ba't sinabi mo Pilipinas? Pwede na yan, di ba? Hindi pwede yan. Hindi na pwedeng export. Tapos, yung consumer, binentahan ng defective. Tapos, sasabihin ng merchant, no return, no exchange. Kaya yung consumer, hindi nagiging delikado. Ang consumer dapat maging delikado. Pag naging delikado ang consumer, ang manufacturer, saka merchant, sisiguraduhin nila na wala kang makomplain sa produkto. Perfect. Pag wala kang makomplain, malamang pwede nang i-export yan. Kaya wala tayong export. Kaya yun, ginawang illegal, balikan ko yung batas, mabuti, galing tayo sa Congress. Tinanong ko yung consumer law, di ba? Illegal. Illegal yung sasabihin mo, defective, hindi mo pwedeng isole, etc. etc. Tapos nagbigay tayo, tarot and stick eh. Nagbigay din tayo ng parang sticker, medal. Pag yung tindahan mo, Jera Sports Store, nilagyan namin ng sticker yon, DTI accredited na consumer-friendly. Ibig sabihin yan, okay ka. So lahat nag-a-aspire magkagano. Sabi namin, tanggalin nyo yung no return, no exchange. Di ba? Pangalawa, yung mga, ito ako, naging controversial ito, umabot sa Supreme Court. Yung mga gift certificates, may expiry date. So sabi ko, yung gift certificate na yan, binayaran yan cash eh. Ba't yung binibigyan
Bakit may expiration?
Ba't binigyan ng expiry? Niregaluhan kita, Jera, ng gift certificate, birthday mo. Dahil hindi ka nagbayad, at saka papel lang yun, nakalimutan mo kung saan mo nilagay. Tapos meron pa yata ako mga gift certificates, hanapin ko nga. Anyway, sige. O pagkatapos, bigla mong nakita, nag-aayos ka, nakita mo, uy, gift certificate ako. Pagbasa mo, nag-expire na noong December. Last year. Di ba? Kawawa naman ako. Nagbayad ako ng cash dyan eh. Hindi mo napakinabangan yung regalo ko sa'yo. Kaya sinabi ko, nag-rule ako. Yung gift certificate, dapat walang expiry yan. Kaya nakalabas ng gift certificate ng billion pesos. Outstanding. So, ayun, nagpunta sila sa Supreme Court. Ang Supreme Court, in-uphold tayo doon. Kaya ngayon, walang expiry ng gift certificate.
Yeah. Alam mo, parang kulang tong oras na inalat ko sa iyo, Konga. Sa dami ng mga milestones na nagawa mo in the private and the public sector. Pero ito, before we end this program, my interview with you, alam mo, ang isa sa mga sinusunod ko na sinabi mo noon, yung na ginamit mo rin nga sa kampanya, yung hindi pwede yung pwede na. Dapat ay pwedeng-pwede. And that is what we're trying to do here in this program. No? We are trying to improve this program because naniniwala ako na hindi pwede yung pwede na eh. Na itinuro mo sa akin.
Okay. Totoo yun. Masyado tayong nagiging parang tanggap natin yung mga defective sa objects. Pati na sa tao, sa pagboto. Minsan sasabihin natin, binigyan na mo ng tinapik ang balikat ko eh. Mabait eh. Pwede na yan. Diba?
Dapat pwede.
Dapat pwede.
Oh.
Sa lahat, kailangan maging maselan tayo. Tayo mga Pilipino. Dapat maging maselan tayo sa ating mga standards sa lahat. Sa objects, sa tao, sa morals, sa values. Diba? Only then can nationwide magkaroon ng hindi lang tayo pintas ng pintas. Pero pag tinanong natin ang sarili natin, marami din during the day tayong tinatanggap na hindi pwede. Hindi todong-todo. Hindi ba?
Correct. Well, Kong, sayang at kulang ang oras natin. No? But definitely, kung pwede lang, no? Next time, I will invite you again in my program. Maraming salamat for all the nuggets of wisdom, not only that you imparted to me, but also what you imparted in this show. Maraming salamat sa iyo, Kong Jesly. Salamat.
It is my pleasure. My pleasure and honor.
Okay, there you have it. There you have it. Former cabinet secretary and former legislator and a top executive in the private sector, Jesly Lapus. Everything under the sun will be back. Don't go away.
Joe Saldariaga po.
At may Tabasa David.
Ngayong Abril, 10 pesos and 18 centavos ang overall electricity rate. Bunga ng 54 centavos na increase. Dala ito ng dagdag singil sa WESM, pagtaas ng fuel prices at peso depreciation. Tumaas man ang mga bilihin kahit papano. Mas mura ang kuryente ngayon kaysa mga Abril bago mag-pandemic. Para makagaan sa ating consumers, patuloy ang koordinasyon ng Meralco sa ERC at generation companies.
Kaya mabuting maging energy efficient. Malaki ang matitipid kung uugaliing mag-unplug. Up to 194 pesos per month ang savings. Safer pa!
At para safe ang power sa halalan, tinuturuan natin ng electrical safety ang mga nasa polling and canvassing centers. Handa rin ang ating linemen at engineers in case may electrical emergencies.
Para you have the power ngayong eleksyon at buong summer.
How long does it take for alcohol to affect your brain? Your favorite alcoholic beverage can go to your head a lot quicker than you think. Researchers at Heidelberg University Hospital in Germany found out that just in 6 minutes after consuming alcohol, changes are already taking place in the brain. So drink because you are happy, but never because you are miserable. Okay, dito po nagtatapos ang ating programa. Siguro marami na tayong natutunan sa ating special guest, si former Cabinet Secretary Jesly Lapus. But before we say goodbye, here's a quote from the best-selling author Leadership Authority Coach and Speaker, John C. Maxwell. A leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. I'll see you next week. Everything under the sun. This is your host, Jera Sison. Enjoy your weekend.